everyone to Self-Image Love Podcast. Today, I am so honored to have Jessica Wiler as my amazing guest. She is uh, from SpiritExplorations. She's a gifted hypnotherapist who specializes in past life regressions and Akashic records, and she is a Reiki master. Again, I'm so honored for your time. And again, I'm just so excited to explore all about past life. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how this work began?
All right, no problem. Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the podcast. My company, yes, is called Spirit Explorations. I do past life regressions, hypnotherapy, Akashic records. But yes, I specialize in past life regressions. How I got into it, it does seem to be like a string of things that just kind of added up. It's not something that I ever planned to do. I don't think anyone just grows up and thinks, oh, I'm going to become a past life regressionist, right? Like,
Right,
I even joke with people, like, when you have like career day at school, they don't have like a desk advertising, become a past life regressionist. So
right,
it's not on most of our radars, is it? But the
right.
first time I ever heard about past life regression is when a friend of mine told me her mother went to get a past life regression. And I'm like, what is that? And she explained it to me, and she's like, yeah, she goes under hypnosis and she goes back into her past life. And I thought, okay, when she's younger, when she's a kid, she's like, no, 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 no. Back into the idea of like reincarnation, a lifetime. And I just had such a difficult time even fathoming the idea back then, but I thought that's
Right.
fascinating. And I said, well, what happened to your mother? And she said, well, she died in the desert. And that explains, as she found out, why she always has to carry water around with her all the time. If she does not have water, she will
Mm,
freak out because she died in the past because she got dehydrated. So
wow.
I'm just like, that is amazing. And then later on in my life, my friend had sent me like an audio recording of like quantum jumping, like jumping into different timelines. And one of the recordings was also about past lives. So I tried it with her. And then
Yeah.
let's both try it and see what we can come up with. And
Mhm.
we even did a past life, like we decided like, let's see which past life we met each other in. And
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, but we got a very similar scene. And that just
Wow.
was flabbergasting to me. So, okay, those two experiences did kind of set something in within me, but it
Hmm.
still didn't sell me on the idea.
Yeah.
As I was continuing on with my spiritual journey, and I was really into meditation and Akashic records, which you just mentioned,
Hmm.
I was being trained to read Akashic records, which
Hmm.
is, you can access them through meditation. But I sat with the Akashic records and I said, what is my purpose in this lifetime? And at this point,
Hmm.
I didn't have any idea what it was going to say. I was just completely open.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on my own spiritual journey, but I wasn't really working in spirituality. But the
Hmm.
messages I was getting was to make people less afraid of death. And I'm like,
Hmm.
that's interesting. And I was like, that sounds very intense. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to do that? And they wouldn't tell me. They're like, you're going to have to figure that out on your own. So I
Yeah.
was exploring different ideas. I was feeling like maybe I'm going to do Reiki. And I kind of saw myself going into like nursing homes or people closer to their death and like being their companion or doing Reiki with them and just kind of sitting with them. And I was getting like feedback through my meditations that yes, that's a good idea, but it's more than that. They like keep exploring, keep exploring. So, um, yeah, just one thing led to the next. I did happen to do a hypnotherapy session, which was my introduction to hypnotherapy. It was someone offered it to me
Hmm.
randomly, and I've never thought about it, but I'm always interested in new experiences. So I'm like, yeah, sure, let me go.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. My first hypnotherapy experience was so amazing. It really convinced me. Well, let me backtrack a little. I mean, what you can do in hypnotherapy in like 1 to 3 to 5 sessions, eh, you can, I mean, someone who goes to therapy for years might not even be able to uncover what we can uncover in hypnotherapy. When my subconscious was coming up through me, I was actually doing like inner child work.
Mhm.
Just so blown away by everything that was coming out of my mouth. So,
Yeah.
oh, I want to become a hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like so convinced, or was just shocked by my first hypnotherapy experience. And then as I was kind of grouping my thoughts together, okay, like hypnotherapy is something I want to do. And then those
Mhm.
famous books, I don't know if you've read any by like Dr. Brian Weiss or Michael Newton or Dolores Cannon, they started to
Oh
come
yeah.
through in my life. They just started to show up and I read them. I'm like, what? Hypnotherapy, past lives, past life regression? And then I started to like, it just started to come together for me. Now
Yeah.
into meditation, they're like, when I'm trying to like meditate on my purpose again, they're like, yes, yes. I was getting like signs like, yes, please follow this path. Uh,
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it happened, but it didn't happen overnight because where I was at that time in my life, I was living in Asia. I was actually living in Singapore and I was like
Mhm.
researching like Singapore's not that big. It's an island.
Yeah.
I was looking for an instructor to teach me past life regression and I couldn't find anybody.
Yeah.
And so I actually had to kind of exit the country, find another place to get trained. I came to California
Yeah.
and yeah, I had a really amazing instructor here who specialized also in past life regression. And just kind of working with clients with her and
Mhm.
just seeing some of their breakthroughs, I was really sold on it. So that's
Yeah.
in this direction.
So it was like one thing led to another, and then the books came through, and then your teacher that taught you all about past life, and then also the experiences you have, I would imagine with your clients of like leading them through their journey and understanding and then making those connections of like, wow, this is why I have this pattern or this is why I'm scared of this or that. And that is just like a beautiful growth and you start to really be in it as well.
Yeah, it's amazing to see them have their own revelations. But even
Hmm.
when I'm watching them have their revelations, it also feels like a lot of things that are coming up for them are also true for me in the moment too.
Yeah,
Funny that
yeah.
certain clients we attract, it seems to be also for a reason.
I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious about your thoughts about like, I don't know if you have ever experienced where you randomly meet someone and you feel like you have known them
Yeah.
like your entire life and you're like, I just met them like 5 minutes waiting in line in a store, or like there may be other people that may trigger you, or even in our own family per se, where you just can't really understand why this person is triggering or why this person feels so good, so close to be around with. um do you believe it's like parts of remembrance of like that maybe we explore or we were in a life together with that person? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. And it's interesting in past life regressions. I mean, that is one of the main reasons people do come to me because they're trying
Mm,
to figure out they felt something like instantaneously with another person. And they want
yeah,
to know, like, did they make it up? Or is there actually something there? Is there a past? What's the past story? Maybe they have glimpses of it and they just want to feel further into it. Or they just want someone to sit with them and say, you're not crazy.
yes, exactly.
I mean, since I do past life regressions, most of my friends are hypnotherapists too. We trade sessions all the time. So I've also had many past life regressions, and I've had definitely scenes or stories come up of like important people in my life and who they were for me in past lives too. And it just really, I feel it in my heart. And I have these past life regressions where it's just so emotional and so heartfelt that it just feels like I can't be just making this up. And
Exactly.
I look at these people in my life, I've I've done so many past life regressions. Yeah, I can almost tell you like my past lives with my parents or my sister, my past like partners, you know. I'm not going to say
Yeah,
I had a past life with everyone, but there are key
right,
players in my life where I'm like, yeah, you used to be my daughter or my son or, you know, and it's not always like what people think. If it was like a romantic partner, you know, in this life, it doesn't mean it was a romantic partner in another life. We really do
right.
change our roles around.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on like souls like traveling in groups? Like I've been told that like my son, he's like part of like my soul group.
Absolutely. Yes.
And when this person she also does past life regressions, and she just told me like yeah, like he didn't like I didn't mention anything about having a son, but she just mentioned yeah, your son, he's part of your soul group. And I
Hmm.
got like chills like when she said that, and I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you guys are traveling together in this lifetime.
Yeah, usually when we talk about soul groups, it is like a pod of us that like to reincarnate together. It usually
Mm.
feels like, yeah, it can range in how many people, but let's just say loosely like 7 to 10 people that we like to reincarnate with. But we change characters, we change, you know, roles, situations. But yeah, usually if it's someone really important to you in this current life, that is someone in your soul group.
Wow. Yeah, because I mean it's like my relationship with him is like where we don't have to say a word, but we just understand each other. You know, so it's kind of like that deep connection of like I know what he means, I know what he said, like I just understand him and without having a word. So that just says a lot, I feel like. And yeah.
Beautiful. Yes.
Thank you. And also what are your thoughts? Like, do you feel like we're like fragments of like just different like uh like past lives, like different fragments that are so put together to just kind of like make one?
That's a beautiful way of saying it. Yeah, I can yes, that's a beautiful way of saying it. I will agree with that. I wouldn't say that everyone remembers that, but that's
Hmm.
another element of past life regression that can be very meaningful. Because
Hmm.
when you start to see your previous past lives, especially for me, because I've done so many past life regressions, I have been like every different race. I've been like a man, I've been a woman, I've been a child, I've had different like economic circumstances. It's really interesting to feel into the perspective or be in the shoes of other people. I mean, even if it might be me in the past, it's still stepping into a body that isn't currently yours and having different thought perspectives and understanding like different trials and tribulations and just different perspectives. I would say once this happens, you become a much more compassionate person. Because I've definitely had lives that are definitely less cushy than this one. I mean, we're living in an age where, you know, we have air conditioning and hot showers and everything.
Yeah.
A lot of lives where it's like third world countries. So
Yeah.
I also come back from these past lives or past life regression. And I'm like, I'm so thankful for this hot shower or this food that I didn't have to hunt today. Like it also brings me a lot of sense of gratitude.
Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful thing about like this work that you do of like going back and exploring a past life and coming back to this life and feeling so much gratitude for what is now, but yet also unblocking certain patterns, certain karmic patterns that whether it's like wealth or relationships, where there's like this pattern reoccurring, even though you try so hard with all your conscious mind to break it, but it may be even years of therapy, of conventional therapy, where there's still those looping patterns,
Mhm.
but yeah, going into this past life and then you understand that karmic pattern and then breaking it to now moving forward and evolving. the
Mhm.
consciousness of your soul. Can you give an example, maybe your own experience of like maybe something that where you had that breakthrough of like wow, like I realized something in this past life, and that's why I have this current patterns, and now awareness is like you're able to kind of take steps forward to kind of like change that.
Yeah, two things are coming to mind. It can be two ways. Sometimes I see a past life and I understand why I'm doing the opposite in this current life. Or
Mm-hmm.
yes, I can see a certain pattern. Um, I'm thinking, but I don't want to say too many personal things about myself.
You're okay. Or you can just evolve about what karmic patterns and how, you know, past lives are able to
Yeah,
break that.
it is possible that someone might see a reoccurring pattern from their past lives. And the past life will stop you and say, hey, be aware of this. It's still your free will. Do you want to go forward? Do you want to take the chance again and keep going? I mean, there's no right or wrong. Or
Right.
but they still kind of hold you accountable. Like they put you there and in front of the path of two ways. And they show you like, oh, in this past life you went this way and this is how it turned out. Might even be multiple past lives they show you. And then you have that chance to stand there on the path and like make a different decision if you want. And luckily, I mean, being a hypnotherapist too, and you understand this, is that a client might actually come to see their karmic pattern and want to change. So it's not like they're only just seeing it. As a hypnotherapist too, we have the ability to help them then break the pattern with our
Reframe.
exactly. So
Hmm.
not only are they just discovering something from their past, but working with us, I mean, they really have a good chance to actually break that cycle.
Yeah, yeah. And I honestly believe in this work, like having that awareness is
Mhm.
just so powerful, because we could get caught up into this overload of like stimulation in our lives, stress and on and so forth. But being able to be in the stillness of like having that awareness and understanding like what's going on here, like, like that is just so powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the subconscious does have a lot to say, doesn't it?
It really does. Yes.
Yeah.
And what about like for the people that are unable to really see like in images, like of course there's that feeling, sensation, but like how would you explore that like for someone that can't see that clear vision like in their inner mind of
Mhm. I know some people, this, I have encountered this sometimes. It does happen. But since I have encountered it, I've tried to do some prep work with them even before the past life regression. So I send them already a hypnotherapy recording to listen to. So they already understand hypnosis is nothing to be afraid of. It really is
right,
just like a guided meditation because not everyone's educated enough in hypnosis. They have some type of feeling about the word that brings up uncertainty. So I'm just trying
right.
to take that uncertainty away from them. And then I also send them some visualization practices. I made some
Mm,
videos for them to listen to just to kind of like, you know, wake up their mind, their skills, their techniques. But I mean, truthfully, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be able to visualize to experience a past life regression. I definitely say be open to all your senses and even a combination. Because
mm,
even for me, who has also done multiple past life regressions, myself, I mean, sometimes I'm very visual, sometimes I'm very feeling oriented, and it can
mm,
change. It varies in different days. But basically, it's kind of just making them feel at ease and building a rapport with them. I would say if they are not seeing anything, then I try to take them deeper into hypnosis and just
mhm.
have patience with them. And then we have little tricks and stuff too. Like maybe they're only seeing darkness. And I'm like, okay, just feel to the wall and flip on this light switch. That actually worked once.
Yes.
Flipped on the light switch and everything was fine. Sometimes you even have to have a bit of a laugh with them just so they don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, and I love what you said, it's not about taking it too serious. It's about exploring, being curious, and it could be just so much fun, just going into that state of like exploring, you know, a little bit more about yourself, whether it's sensation, whether it's like that visual, and so yeah, there's different ways.
Yeah, and I always tell them I've got you. If because sometimes they're afraid they're going to see the death scene or something's going to come up, it's going to be too emotional for them. And I say, truthfully, you're not usually ever given anything that you're not ready for, but just in case, like there are
Mhm.
things that we can do to kind of detach from the scene. Like you can imagine seeing it on a movie screen instead and not feel so connected to it. Or there
Yeah.
might be ways, like if you don't really want to see the death scene, I have ways around that as well. Although it can actually be quite a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
But I kind of work with them and they can talk to me, why they're experiencing things and tell me. I always tell them this, like if you need to go slower, let me know. Like I'll go
Mhm.
slower. Like you can talk to me. You're not unconscious. You can actually
Yeah,
still have a conversation as you're seeing things, and I'm here to guide you.
exactly. You're
Yeah.
their guide. Yeah, that is so beautiful. And talking about that scene, I know that this also brings a lot of because sometimes when we're so afraid of dying, we don't really live our life the way we want to because of those fears. But I know this also brings a little bit of like reassurance that, you know, eventually, you know, we're not immortal, right? You know, we go through life and on and so forth. And of course, this helps us explore a little bit more into past lives to see that we have done it before, you know, in different ways. Um, and what would you say it's your thoughts on exploring those past life scenes of death and also near death experiences where uh based what I know of near death experiences, people leave their body for a little while and they explore what it's out there. It's different for everybody, but what do you see is a correlation between those two?
Mhm. Well, I personally have not had a near-death experience, but I had a recent client who came in for a past life regression who did have a near-death experience. And she was telling me the differences at the end of the session. And
Mm,
she told me the near-death experience was more, um, well, she gave different words. She said there was, without a doubt, she knew that happened.
mm,
She said it was more vivid, more real.
mhm,
She's like, I could not mistake that what happened to me happened.
mhm,
That was the positive side. The negative side was it was quite jolting, and she nearly had to die for that experience.
mm,
And then she said the past life regression, it felt like a bit like a dream. So when she came out of the past life regression, she's like, well, I can't really confirm it because it felt like a dream. But but she did say I would much rather just have a dreamlike experience versus being jolted out of my body.
oh
But
wow.
she did compare. I mean, I don't want people to have to be close to death to have
Right,
experiences. A past life regression is a much softer experience.
right.
But she did say in both experiences, like she did come out of her body and she
Mhm,
did like realize what was happening around her,
mhm,
and that there was a life review for her in her near death
mm,
experience and also in the past life regression, and that she was meeting higher beings. I can't
mm,
remember if she said it was her ancestors or spirit guides. I can't remember that part. But also
mhm,
in the past life regression, we do the same. They are greeted with ancestors or spirit guides, whatever wants to come through for them to kind of guide them in the experience and also do like life reviews. So they are similar.
mhm.
I personally would rather just have a past life regression.
Yes, it's very much softer.
Safe place, like on a sofa, feeling safe and
Yeah,
protected.
exactly. And I feel based on, just what I have seen and just research books that at the end it's all about appreciating, like kind of like that wake up call to really appreciate the now,
Mhm.
and really appreciate where you're at now and not taking just things for granted, like life for granted, and like kind of give us that push to go after the next step in our life, the next chapter, our dreams, and on and so forth, without being so scared of
Mm.
putting ourselves out there or exploring
Yeah.
what it could be.
Yeah, because if that's something you're feeling right now, whatever you're feeling currently, your past life that's going to be presented to you is going to mirror something that's going on with you. Most
Mm,
people don't know that. Even when I started training as a past life regressionist, I didn't even know that. I just thought
mm.
like past lives, how fun, how I'm curious. Like I want to do like a
Yeah.
past life regression quiz and see if I was like this ancient goddess or whatever. No,
Yeah.
deeper than that. It's much deeper than that. Yeah, your past life, whatever comes up, will either be giving you guidance on how to move forward in your current life, or maybe
Mhm.
giving you like warning signs, like don't go down that path again, or just be wary of like the things you did in the past. So
Mhm.
maybe if you're feeling like you're not fully living your life this time, it will show you a past life where you stayed so complacent or comfortable and missed out on so many things. And then you'll
Mhm.
view the life and it'll be like, okay, I stayed safe, but I didn't feel excited or I didn't take a chance with love. And that might be something you're currently going through in this life. And it will be like a wake-up call for you. Like, okay, maybe I need to take a chance. Maybe I need to
Right.
take a trip. Maybe I need to like tell someone I love them or, it,
Yeah.
it works like that.
Wow. And that is so true. That just brings so much more understanding into, yeah, like based on what you're going through now,
Mm.
your subconscious mind is going to bring a life similar to that to kind of give you that awareness of like what you need to do in this life to, in a way, liberate yourself. Like if you're feeling a certain fear or uncertainty about something you want to do in your life,
Or don't want to do. I mean,
or you don't want to do.
yeah, I mean, personally, I will at least say this story on my behalf. I mean, I grew up, I've never had the yearning to be a mother. I've never wanted to necessarily have children. And then when I've done investigations on myself in past life regression, I saw how I was so suppressed as a woman so many times, like forced to marry someone that I was not in love with or have kids and not have opportunities. There was like
Mhm.
it was actually my very first past life regression. It showed me um, like I wanted to be a writer. I
Yeah,
mean, I was a woman. It was in the 1930s. We didn't have so many privileges, but I would write these long stories about all these travel fantasies that I had, and then I would just shove them in the drawer and no one ever read them. And she had this
yeah.
amazing fascination, but she did
Mhm.
what society wanted her to do. She got
Right.
married, she had the kids, she had a okay marriage, she did the household duties. And then after I reviewed this life, they were saying like, okay, but this time you're a woman and you have choices. Like you don't
Mhm.
have to marry if you don't want to. And if you do,
Mhm.
you can marry who you want. And you don't
Yeah.
have to have children. And hey, you can go traveling. And I've been to like almost 50 countries by now. I'm just like
Oh,
doing
wow.
everything all these women in my past could never do. Um, I don't know. For this life, I'm happy with it.
I love that. Yeah. That is
I'm also like, I've
beautiful.
been a mom several times before. I'm like, I'm just gonna take a break this time.
And just explore, travel, and focus more on you and what you want, your own needs. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because really, as a woman in the past, we were mm,
Yeah.
not always suppressed. I mean, it varies, but for a long time, we couldn't do a lot of things.
Yeah, I love that. And um regarding reincarnation, like what are your thoughts like how often do people reincarnate? Like, and is it always a, uh, someone that has a lot of unfinished stuff, or like maybe the soul wants to continue to expand? And can you talk a little bit about that, about how that works? I'm still trying to understand and grasp
Well, to be
that
honest,
concept.
I'm still also trying to understand. But what I can say from what I feel I've experienced so far, and please no one hold everything I say as truth, but the reincarnation cycle, it doesn't feel like we're condemned to
Mm-hmm.
reincarnate if we don't want to.
Mm,
At least that's what I'm feeling at this time. It does feel like the soul has a yearning to grow and to
mm,
experience things. and different perspectives too. You know, sometimes people think like reincarnation, like there's like an evolution, like you're going to end up in a better place every time, or like
Right.
a natural progression. But I've also seen people just want to, at least in past life regressions, maybe like their final reincarnation, they might be a beggar on the street because what they have not experienced so far is they've never experienced that. Like it feels like a full cycle or, you know, of experiences. Your
Yeah.
overall soul growth. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't say like you start with like a life on the street and you end up as a king. You could be a king and then your last life you're a beggar on the street.
Mm.
Just to kind of put things in a little bit of perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling so far from my
Mhm.
experience. I mean, who knows? But
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like we have to come back. It just seems like we want to come back. But I've
Right.
seen people have like a past lives or experiences in other realms too, not always Earth, which is a little bit
Yeah.
surprising sometimes.
Yes. That was my next question. Like, can can people be well based on the work of Dolores Canz,
Mhm.
how she works a lot with like people that have been different entities, different alien-like entities where they come here to Earth and they feel like they're so different,
Mhm.
like they don't belong here, and there's this uh they just don't feel like that this is their home. And she has explored with several cases where they're from a different planet,
Mhm.
uh based on the book the her books. What are your thoughts on that?
I've seen some cases of that for sure. Yes. So I
Okay.
agree with her. Yeah. Different planets, eh, different scenarios. I mean, I had one alien life that I saw, but to be honest, it wasn't anything glamorous in any capacity. I was like a failed alien species. They left me on the planet. I was like on its planet, and we were like digging into the soil for the minerals. That's like how that was our substance. But we were failed alien species, and we're just kind of left there to die out. Not
Not
probably
very glamorous at all.
Probably not the best alien story ever, but you never know where you're gonna end up.
Wow, that is so interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I always been fascinated by the unknown world. And I one time had this experience where I was like sleeping, but I felt like my body rising up,
Mhm.
and I was like kind of like reaching up towards that ceiling, and I'm like, wait,
Astral
what
projection.
what's happening?
Yes, yes. What happened? Did you go any?
Um, I feel like my nose is going up towards that ceiling, and then I kind of like was like, what's going on? Like, I don't want to go higher, and then I went down.
You scared yourself back in your body. Yeah,
I
astral
scared
projection.
myself back in the body. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that was like the most experience that I have had in regards to like didn't understand what was happening. But of course, the more that you explore, it's kind of like getting a little bit more um comfortable with understanding that there's more to what we see, to what we're thought, and I feel that it's our own inner guidance that kind of guides us to explore a little bit more like about this book, about this topic, and honestly, I I don't know what got into me, but somehow I found your page and I'm like, like let me just message her. It was just like very like I don't know why, but
Synchronicity. Things just one thing leads to the next, leads to the next. And yeah,
yeah,
that's
like
it'll
like
lead
you
to your growth.
mentioned.
Yeah, yeah, your
Yeah.
spiritual.
And I feel like it's part of like kind of like trusting the process, trusting our evolution of like what unfolds as we trust and as we guide ourselves to whether message this person or explore this book or explore a past life to get to know yourself in different ways that maybe you didn't. know that about yourself, but you're like, whoa, I used to
Yeah,
be this.
that's beautiful. Yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
Great.
And and what would you say, like for example, uh like remembrance, like people that remember or are attracted to a symbol, are attracted to a certain drawing, or attracted to like a certain lifestyle,
Our
culture,
country,
and they're like
music.
totally
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, as a past life regressionist, I think you can guess my answer. I'll just like, yeah, you probably had some affinity to it in a past life, of course. Yeah.
yeah,
And there's so many wonderful stories even about like reincarnation, like kids that are prodigies that can just play the piano or of some certain talent or different languages. Like, how can
mhm,
we explain that? I mean, it really does
exactly.
seem to be pointing towards like having a past life.
Having a remembrance. And what are your thoughts on, like, like kids, for example, that like remember a past life at a very young age? And I know there's been several cases where I don't remember the exact details, but there was this kid where he remembered that he was in a World War II, I think. I'm not for sure. I saw this video quite a while back, and he would draw pictures of the plane, and he remembered the plane he was at and everything like that. And
Yeah.
his parents were like so intrigued by it, and they did more research, and they all his drawings, everything that he was saying concurred to
Yes.
this person that existed back then.
Yes. Yeah, I
And
remember that story a bit. I don't remember all the details either.
yeah,
Even like the name or the rank, like the parents could verify the details, and that's amazing.
yeah. So what are your thoughts on people that remember more than others, like,
I
you
think it's
know
easier when you're a child for sure. I mean, you yourself as a hypnotherapist, you know how our subconscious is until like the age of 7. So
yeah.
I think you are still floating in between realms, and we're not,
Hmm.
aren't so like heavily influenced by the outer society yet. So they have more imagination and remember
Right.
the other side. I still
Yeah.
think that people, besides past life regression, I still think people can remember their past lives. It might come in through dreams or just like certain random memories that spring up, or maybe even in meditation. I mean, as you mentioned like earlier, like I also do Akashic record readings, and I can sit in meditation and remember my own past lives through the Akashic records. So that's another way as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about that, for me, my own experience, I always been scared of the water, you
mhm.
know, for years since I was a little kid. Like if I was like in a boat, I would like scream for someone just to get me out of the boat. And I never learned how to swim and on and so forth. And now we have a pool, so of course I had to learn how to swim. I still don't know how to swim, but I'm learning, and I'm learning to get comfortable with the water. And I had this experience where I was wearing like my life vest and just kind of like floating in the pool, getting comfortable, like and just reassuring that I'm safe, nothing's gonna happen. If something happened in a past life, now I'm safe, like relaxing my nervous system. And then when I was floating, I had this remembrance of what happened to me.
Oh, wow.
And it was, I was like in a ship, and the ship sunk,
Mhm.
and I sunk with the other people. And it
Mhm.
was just just like the remembrance of like, oh yeah, this is what happened. Not fully like clear pictures, because for me, I struggle to see the pictures, but just like this remembrance of like knowing like, oh yeah, this is what happened. But it
Yeah,
happened way back, and now reassuring myself that it's okay. Water is fine, you
oh,
know?
that's good. But it also makes you feel like you're not crazy. And maybe people who saw you not wanting to swim for years are like, you're being crazy. Like, just get in the water. You can do it. But they don't understand. And when you have that memory, you're like, no, I'm not crazy. I had some
Yeah.
trauma with this in the past. But yeah,
Exactly.
you reminded yourself, this is not, I'm not my past. I'm here now, and I'm safe.
I'm safe in this space. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this work, that you have realizing that yes, you're not crazy, something's coming up for a reason, and yet having some validation of like maybe this is what happened before, but now it is in a different time, different timeline, and it's okay, like reassuring, parent yourself that it's okay.
Exactly. Yeah, validation, reassurance, those are the best words.
Yes. Wow, this has been so good. Is there anything else you want to share in regards to your work, or just anything else?
I don't know. I'm just really excited about this topic. And I mean, if anyone else feels intrigued by what we've talked about, I would say give it a chance, give it a try. I mean, if nothing else, even for those who don't really believe in past lives or don't think they're necessarily real. I mean, I would say even when you have a past life regression, even if you're not completely sold on the idea, you're still going to learn something about yourself. Whether it comes up and you want to think of it as a metaphor or not, it doesn't truly matter. At the end of the session, when you walk out of the office, do you feel differently? Do you have a different perspective on life? Does something change within you? I mean, normally the answer is yes. At least that's what I hope for everyone. It feels like it. But I mean, I would say like if there's a spark of curiosity boiling up within you, just see. And maybe if you're seeing this video, you're like, this is the sign. Maybe it's time for me to try.
Exactly, exactly. And I do believe in that, that we are attracted to what we need in the moment, right?
Mhm.
And whoever watches this episode, like, really intrigued, just go for it. I'm gonna go ahead and put all of Jessica's website, her Instagram, just ways to contact her and explore and experience for yourself.
Yeah, that's actually my tagline. Well, not exactly experience it for yourself. It's explore, explore for yourself.
Explore for yourself. And I just love that name, like a spirit exploration, because you are exploring it, and that is just so beautiful. Like just explore a little bit more about yourself, about who you are,
Mhm.
about your purpose, and yeah.
Yeah, soul growth. That's what I call it.
So birth, yes. Well, it's been such a pleasure, and hopefully, we're able to have a part two down the line. Thank you so much for joining.